I got 99 problems, but a ain't one.
He's one of the world's best-selling rappers with hits like 99 Problems
Got 99 problems, but a ain't one.
and Crazy in Love, a collaboration with his now wife Beyonce.
Young Hov, y'all know when the flow is loco. Young B and the ROC. Uh-oh.
He's a 25-time Grammy winner.
So thank you for this.
And in 2021, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Trying to make me cry in front of all these white people.
But last December, Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, became embroiled in the ongoing legal saga of Sean Diddy Combs. Jay-Z was accused of drugging and raping a 13-year-old girl alongside Diddy, allegedly at an after-party following the 2000 Video Music Awards in New York City. The accuser, who is now 36 and referred to as Jane Doe, sued the music mogul for unspecified damages.
Bombshell allegations against Jay-Z. A civil lawsuit now accusing him and Sean Diddy Combs of raping a 13-year-old girl.
But just last month, Jane Doe suddenly withdrew the allegations against Jay-Z and Sean Combs and dropped her lawsuit.
The lawsuit brought by the Jane Doe was dismissed with prejudice, which is very important to note because that means the case cannot be brought back in any way, shape, or form.
In a statement, Jay-Z wrote in part, "Today is a victory. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. The trauma that my wife, my children, loved ones, and I have endured can never be dismissed." Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's attorney.
He vehemently denied the allegations at the outset. He spoke about the painful impact that they had, especially on his kids. How, as a father, has he tried to handle this?
It's tough to hear a false lie said about you, spread through the internet, and affecting your children. It's tough on him. It's tough on anybody. But what he does is he proves himself innocent.
ABC News exclusively obtained a minute-long excerpt of a recording of a conversation that private investigators hired by Jay-Z's legal team say they had with Jane Doe. In it, she is heard agreeing that Jay-Z did not assault her.
But Jay-Z you're saying he was definitely there? But he had no part in it, or he was just...
He was there. He was just there, but he didn't have anything to do with any sexual acts towards you. It was strictly, yeah.
The woman is also heard saying her lawyer put her up to suing one of the world's most recognizable stars.
He was the one that kind of pushed me towards going forward with him.
With Jay-Z? Busby did?
Yeah.
Do you know why?
No.
The people around Mr. Carter wanted to know what happened behind closed doors. And so they asked for her to be interviewed. The interview occurred, and the tape speaks for itself. She says, in no uncertain terms, Mr. Carter did not do this. It is effectively a lie. And the only reason Mr. Carter is even involved in this is because she was pushed to involve him, pushed to include him by a lawyer.
The accuser's lawyer, Tony Busby, called it a blatant lie that he pushed Jane Doe to sue Jay-Z. And he sent us this recording of a phone call he says he had with his client.
They say that they have you on tape denying that Jay-Z assaulted you. Is that true?
No. I don't. I've never said that.
Okay. They also say that you told them, and they have it on tape, that I, Tony Busby, told you to came up with this plan and told you to say that Jay-Z assaulted you so you would get more money.
No.
Jane Doe said in a court filing, "I felt intimidated and terrified at being confronted by these two individuals on my doorstep, and that they knew my name and home address despite me being anonymous."
Was she coerced in any way?
Of course not. They did not coerce her, promise or threaten her in any way, shape, or form. She voluntarily met and spoke to them, and she told them her truth, which was, under no circumstances did Mr. Carter do this. And number two, the only reason he's even involved in this is she was pushed to introduce him by a lawyer.
Despite dropping her suit and what she allegedly told the private investigators, Jay-Z's accuser is standing by her claims.
Tony, I was terrified the entire time that they were talking to me, but I know I didn't say that he didn't touch me, and I know I didn't say that you told me to say anything.
Jane Doe says very clearly there is no way that these specific words came out of her mouth in any way, shape, or form. But we know, at least from the audio recording, she wasn't telling Tony Busby the entire truth, which kind of leaves us in the same place as before as to who's telling the truth and who's telling a lie.
According to her complaint filed in December, at a VMA after-party, the 13-year-old Jane Doe claims she accepted a drink and began to feel woozy and lightheaded and entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down. Moments later, the lawsuit alleged Combs, Carter, and an unnamed female celebrity enter, all of whom Jane Doe says she recognized. In the lawsuit, Jane Doe then alleges Combs and Carter took turns raping her as she lay on the bed disoriented, all while Celebrity B watched. She claims she was only able to escape after hitting Diddy and running out of the bedroom.
Does your client know Jane Doe?
No.
Ever met her?
No, Mr. Carter doesn't know Jane Doe, never met Jane Doe. There's no truth to any of this.
Combs was arrested in September on a slew of federal charges involving other accusers.
Sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, interstate transportation for prostitution.
He is currently being held in New York City at the Metropolitan Detention Center, awaiting trial. Combs has pleaded not guilty. There are also at least a dozen civil lawsuits filed against Combs by accusers represented by Jane Doe's attorney, Tony Busby. All of them allege Combs sexually abused dozens of victims over 2 decades.
What shocked me most was that it was going on openly in front of other people that you would know who didn't do anything to stop it.
In a statement, Sean Combs' legal team called the lawsuits against their client shameless publicity stunts, and that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man or woman, adult or minor. The rapper known as Diddy flaunted a larger-than-life bad boy persona since his beginnings as a hip-hop producer in the early 1990s.
You name it, I could claim it, young, black, and famous.
And in hits like Can't Nobody Hold Me Down.
I call all the shots, rip all the spots, rock all the rocks.
And Mo Money, Mo Problems. Diddy founding Bad Boy Records in 1993, launching the careers of rapper Mace, and most famously, Biggie Smalls, the notorious B.I.G.
And if you don't know, now you know.
Diddy, also known in celebrity circles for throwing lavish parties, and part of that lifestyle is now at the center of the case against him. Prosecutors are accusing Diddy of so-called freak-offs, elaborate sex performances, where Combs allegedly coerced, drugged, and kidnapped victims into sexual activity and hired prostitutes to join.
Sean Combs is still facing a number of civil lawsuits, but is also expected back in the Southern District of New York to plead not guilty to a superseding indictment, an indictment that adds more facts to that racketeering conspiracy allegation, including forced labor, arson, and kidnapping, that there was a criminal enterprise that fed into these alleged freak-offs.
While Sean Combs sits in a jail cell in Brooklyn,
the Grammy goes to Cowboy Carter.
Sean Carter, a.k.a. Jay-Z, was with his wife and daughter Blue Ivy at the Grammys as Beyoncé accepted the award for Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter. Jay-Z is now suing Jane Doe and her lawyer for defamation, saying they, quote, were soullessly motivated by greed, in abject disregard of the truth and the most fundamental precepts of human decency.
Why not let it lie? The case is gone.
The truth had to fully come out. This person cannot be allowed to sort of hide from the reality that this was a false accusation.